Stanich. I've been before the board before. Mr. Alfred, Vice Chair, and fellow commissioners, Mayor. Not one of us in this room would doubt that the world is in a financial crisis with the announcement with the International Monetary Fund last week. For the first time in history, the United States has lost its AAA financial rating. We all hope and work for the best because that's the human spirit and that's the American way. If Greece defaults, then a domino effect will affect the world. I have enclosed, and I made a copy of a September 18 article in the Tennessee article titled, and I quote, "Tennessee solar industry faces clouded future turmoil. Price drop comes as billions spent on plants," which talks about Hemlock and Walker County. The United States is now in a 3-year recession. I'm here tonight to talk about 4 related issues. Number 1, the BCC 2035 Joint Strategic Plan is counting our chickens before they're hatched on maybe and if strategy. Citizens like me and my sweet husband, who are affected by these decisions, are not on any of these committees. Please ask yourself, what will happen when the dollar collapses for Bradley County when we already have an $80 million debt, which is I'm actually have around my neck today? Who will own us? Is our debt held in any way by the Deutsche Bank of Germany or J.P. Morgan? If so, I find this very curious and scary to have international bankers hold our debt. Just last week, Citibank, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America were downgraded, which means they can fail. This has never happened in the United States, ever. Number 2, why we are even considering buying 343 acres owned by Jones Lakeland LLC when we know the following. In 2005, the property was purchased in round figures for $1.8 million. That's $1,800 an acre. And today it is only appraised for around $2.26 million. Why today you are questionably consider paying $14,577 an acre and a very shaky, uncertain economic future is my question. Once this property is purchased, this is just the beginning of money that will have to be paid out to develop this uneven land that has environmental impact. Question. I ask any of you commissioners here, who else is getting such a deal in Bradley County on their homes and property? Do any of you know of how many vacant commercial properties and homes in Bradley County? I attended a TDOT meeting just the other day where we had the water problem and documented Dr. Corsi's information on the Great Lakes USA. Land between I-75 and Highway 11 is proposed, which is a continuance of the Trans-Texas corridor. It starts in the Gulf of Mexico, comes up to Nashville, comes down to Atlanta, then comes up through our corridor K up to Asheville and Washington, D.C. It's known as Corridor K for us, and I quote, calls for separate lanes for cars and trucks, rails with separate lines for passenger, high-speed freight, and computer traffic, and a utility zone. This is even verified by 2 TDOT employees I spoke to after the meeting we had last Thursday. So through eminent domain, this property that you're considering the 343 acres and mine, our property here, can be taken by eminent domain, which we learned at the meeting, at the price they feel is fair. But factor in Bradley's 126% increase in foreclosure rate and the decrease of property value and the current real estate transactions, and when the dollar collapses, we will all probably get pennies on the dollar. Number 3, the Cleveland Bradley Chamber of Commerce is not our friend, and here's why. A According to Cleveland Daily Banner, Thursday, September 30th, 2010, page 18, the public was invited to the EDC October meeting notice. The Economic Development Council of Cleveland Bradley Chamber of Commerce will hold its regular bi-monthly meeting Thursday, October 7th at 4 p.m. in the boardroom of the Chamber offices. The EDC Executive Committee will meet at 3:30 prior to the regular council. Both meetings are open to the public, end quote. As I and two other members of the public tried to enter this public meeting, we were prohibited by Mr. Doug Berry. At that time, I requested a letter in writing why I was refused. To this day, which is almost a year later, I'm still waiting for a response from Mr. Berry. My husband and I attended a Cleveland meeting, the 3-Star Plan, in which Beth Jones from the Southeast Tennessee Development District facilitated a presentation and wish list for Bradley County. Ms. Jones went around the room asking for everyone's wish list and asked me for my comment. I then said we need to stay out of debt and live within our means. At that time, Mr. Farlow says I could not speak. We were given numbered dots ranging from 5 points to 1 point to place on those areas we felt were critical to Bradley County. At the end of the meeting, there was at least 30 points on the area of staying out of debt. At a meeting a few weeks later, 5 points, nothing was even mentioned about being careful regarding our debt and who it is held by. So I asked, who is rewriting input from this community? I asked why staying out of debt was not even addressed at the 5 points meeting. Who on this commission is going to ask these same questions for the taxpayers of Bradley County? We own homes in both District 1 and District 6. Again, I'm here to say the Cleveland Bradley Chamber of Commerce is not our friend. And as a taxpayer, I'm outraged at the city and county are paying them exorbitant high fees for consultation. The Cleveland Bradley Chamber of Commerce is wearing 2 hats. They are getting...
Excuse me, ma'am.
Okay.
Are you done finished?
I'm almost finished.
Okay, I'll give you a couple more minutes.
All right. They are getting money from the businesses and also fees and contributions from the hotel and motel tax of tourism and for industrial development, which according to our 2011 budget was over $325,000. The question all of you commissioners should be asking, Mr. Berry and Mr. Farlow, is when do you represent business and when do you represent us? You can't come to the negotiating table knowing your secret side and the business secret side. Who on this commission will make a resolution to stop this conflict of interest and use these fees, contributions, and hotel tax for maybe something like paying down our debt, which I still have hanging around my neck, and that's an $80 million debt, or giving to the homeless. I do volunteer for 5 charities in town, and I do have a finger on how Bradley County is hurting. Number 4, I feel that the incentives you are giving and offering businesses such as Vocker, WorldCall, Amazon.com, and others is a form of discrimination from businesses that now reside in Bradley County and that are not getting these same sweetheart deals. When will one of these businesses file suit against Bradley County for giving them preference over them? They're paying their fair share. So to recap, there's 4 issues. 1, Strategy 2035 through eminent domain will be taking, according to the Department of Transportation, properties between I-75, and Highway 11, which my husband and I live between, but is also the 343 acres that you're considering. 2, vote no on buying this land. It is very uneven, and if we buy that, it's just the tip of the iceberg of what we've had to do, and it has an impact on the environment. 3, the Chamber of Commerce is not our friend when they try to shut up people that live